What's up, friends and film family? Hey. So I just wanted to make a video about the first things to do when you're on set, like the first couple things you do when you get there and you start your day, or even before your day starts, things that you do beforehand to prepare. So I've been day playing a lot since the show that I was staffed on ended, so it's good to, I'm almost repeating this like for myself to make sure that I do this every time that I'm on a new set. So, okay, so the night before, you'll get a call sheet with your in time and like basically what's on the schedule for the day. There's a bunch of videos in here about how to read a call sheet. I'm not going to do that here. So just make sure that you're communicating with the key PA about where to pick up your walkie, because that's the first thing that you're going to want to do in the morning. Sometimes they give them out at the Honey Wagon, sometimes they give them out on set, so just figure out where you're going first. Obviously get there on time. Earlier is better. You can grab yourself breakfast, you can introduce yourself, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, first thing to do is figure out where you're getting your walkie from. And like I said, introduce yourself to the key if you don't know them, like if you're recommended by somebody else, yada, yada, yada. Another thing I really like to do at the top of the morning is to talk to the key PA, or maybe I know another PA on set, or anybody who's been working on the show, if it's been shooting for, like if you're not tacking on the first day. I like to pull someone aside and be like, hey, could you point out the first AD to me, the second AD if they're on set, the second, and the director of photography and the director. So those are like the four most important people on set, and it's good to know who they are, because sometimes they walk off set and they're like, oh, hey, where'd the director go? And you're like, I don't know what the director looks like. Or, you know, if somebody's like, hey, can you bring this soda to the first AD, then like, you know. So that's like something that I never did in the past, that now, since I'm getting on new sets and I'm much more comfortable in the atmosphere, I'm like, all right, who's the first AD, who's the sound guy, you know, where's the blah, blah, blah. And you can kind of tell where people are by departments based on the equipment that's around them. Once you get used to sets, it'll be easy to differentiate that. But definitely first AD, second AD, the director, and the director of photography. Gotta know who they are, what they look like. Then basically I just like to stick close to the key so they can assign me to something. And like if you're standing right next to them, it's so much easier for them to be like, oh, hey, could you, you know, go by the trucks and call out when we're in, like when we're starting the day, or I'm going to have you in this position for the first half of the day and you'll be stopping pedestrians from walking, yada, yada, yada. So it's good to stick by the key, and they'll basically tell you what you're doing all day. So just do whatever they say. Let's see, I wrote them down on my phone, so I'm looking. Oh, another thing, which like I was totally shy about doing this when I first started on set. It's like, you know, obviously we have the walkies in our ear all day, and the first AD will call like when we're rolling, when we cut, things like that. Like you want to be repeating out loud, because not everybody on set is on the same channel that the production channel is on, so they don't know when we're filming and when we cut and when we're checking the gate, which is, you know, making sure that the footage that we took is clear. So those are things that like PAs call out loud and proud. You're like rolling, all that good stuff that you see in movies about making movies. Let's see. Yeah, so that's another thing. You can step out of your comfort zone by just being really loud and, you know, be the loudest one, because then they'll be like, oh, who's that loud PA that's making sure everybody knows what we're doing? And another thing, like I know it can get confusing sometimes, but like paying attention to what's going on. There's so much talking on channel 1, but you know, if somebody comes up to you from the electric department and they're like, hey, do you know what we're doing right now? And I'm like, oh, well, we just turned around on this scene, so we're setting up for this shot, and I can explain it to them because the first AD has just explained it to me or to us on the walkie. And then they know what we're doing, and then you look awesome because you know what we're doing, and that's the most important part. Another thing to just be mindful of on set is to make sure that if somebody gives you a task, that you repeat it back to them, so to ensure that you're going to do it right the first time, because it's better to ask questions and get it done right the first time than to do something, it's wrong, and then have to redo it all over again. I'm sure all of us have several stories about times that that's happened, either with whether it's with film or with other jobs. It's just work smarter, not harder, but work hard also. Another thing I like to do in the morning or at lunchtime is to get the paperwork. Sometimes it's electronic, so the paperwork PA will ask you for your email address and they'll send it to you, and then you just boop, boop, boop. Other times it's like a big packet and you have to write everything in, and it's the same information over and over again, which is fine. It's great. It's like homework. But yeah, making sure that you're asking where the paperwork is, how to get it, and making sure you're turning it in to somebody who can be responsible for it, because that's how you get paid, and we all want to get paid, right? Let's see, I think I only wrote one more thing on here. There's so many things I could think of. Oh, make sure you say goodbye to the people that you met, and, you know, just being friendly all around, all day. You know, if you talk to somebody for a little bit, just be like, yeah, I'll see you on the next one, or, you know, I'm back on Thursday, I'll see you on Thursday. And then that can kind of open up a conversation when you're saying bye to the key, to be like, if you feel comfortable, which I do with a lot of keys, because they've kind of become friends of mine, is just to be like, hey, so when are you going to book me again, you know? But there are other ways that you can say that are a little bit more professional. Just be like, yeah, I'm available next week if you needed additional PAs. I'd be happy to come back and work for you. I had a great time, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, just making sure that you're getting people's phone numbers, contacting people, and get that snowball a-rolling. Rolling. It's an industry joke. Anyway, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I just got back from set, so I'm like, I have that, I call it my wrap wind, because I have my first wind in the morning, and then I have my second wind after lunch, and then I have my wrap wind, and I get like so pumped, and then I'm home, and I'm like, what do I do until tomorrow when I have to go to work again? Anyway, so I'm going to sign out. That was a really long video. I apologize. I hope you watched it. Please let me know if it helped you. Bye.